This film is about a holiday in Upper Wharfdale, North Yorkshire. This is the village of Grassington, where visitors come for the day from the cities of Leeds and Bradford, and some come from further afield and stay longer. The charm of the Yorkshire Dales appeals to many people. They're an ideal place for a quiet holiday in beautiful surroundings, and always near fresh, clean water. And here, by the side of the river wharf, is a house called End Farm. It's a guest house run by Eileen and Alan Thompson. People have been coming here for holidays now for many years. And some of those people have been coming on holiday to work, to learn. For Alan Thompson is not just the proprietor of a guest house, he's also a skilled furniture renovator with a workshop up in the village.
Trouble here against the grain on both ways.
What are you doing, David?
Well, I'm making a mirror to go on a dressing table, and this part of it that I'm doing just at the moment is the actual frame that takes the glass, and when it's eventually completed it would look something like this. So I'm actually doing the cross banding which will face the mirror when it's all finished. But the actual finished construction won't be quite like this, because I rather wanted to make a mirror with a base to it, and also to make drawers, because I'm primarily here to try to learn as many techniques as I can in as short as time as I've got available.
But why do you have to come here to do it?
Well, we could, I suppose, have gone various other places, but we heard of these courses being run up here in Grassington, and it seemed a lovely place to come to, and it's proved just that. And although we're spending our days, I'm doing this and my wife is doing this upholstery course, we have time in the evenings to get out and about and enjoy the Yorkshire Dales, and it's really a super place to be. We've been very fortunate with the weather. At the same time, we feel that we're learning a bit more about the things we want to do, and when we get home we can carry on doing this sort of thing. So it's a good working holiday.
How did you hear of this place?
Strangely, it was in a magazine, the Dalesman magazine, which was lying in somebody's office at work. And since I'm about to retire in August, I was looking for a course on woodwork and gave Alan a ring. And I think it's working out very nicely indeed. What I'm getting here is the results of 20 or 30 years of Alan's skills being passed on to me in a very short time. And it's enabling me already to tackle jobs which I wouldn't have tackled before. Right, Alan, can we discuss what we're going to do with this clock, where clearly we've got a top work here which is a fake and isn't part of the original clock. I'm interested in this particular one because I'd like to learn something about veneering of timbers. So what would you suggest that we do here?
Well, first of all, as you say, this one has in fact been made up. I would say perhaps the back here could very well be an original. It's an old bit of wood, but this has been cut off a piano. You can see right, yes. the thing here is veneer. Now they've done this basically because the colour was right. We've talked about how difficult it is to get this yellow colour into old veneer. So what they've done, they've actually cut a bit off a piano and stuck it on, and they haven't had access to a workshop such as this, and so they've nailed it on, and they haven't had perhaps the fineness that we have. So what we have to do then really is to scale this one down and bring in some of these curves so that it looks in keeping, as though in fact it was an original top. Now then, Martin, yesterday you cleaned this up here with that polish reviver, and so now we want to put a shine on that doesn't finger mark. And this is a mixture of various waxes, carnauba wax and beeswax and paraffin waxes. And I want you to get a little bit on your finger and rub it in little tiny circles. Rub it very finely into the grain. Now you can see it's beginning to take a shine up. If you don't want to use your fingers, you can use a cloth, but I use my fingers, and can you see it coming up now like that? And then with the back of my hand I can almost begin to polish it like that, and backwards and forwards, quite vigorously. It takes quite a lot of rubbing. Now if we have a yellow duster, do we have a yellow duster between here? You've got one there. And just bring it up, and then with a lot of pressure just rub it like that.
At lunchtime there's food for the workers, often taken outside in the garden at End Farm. And most of it is homemade.
Very old. Actually, not naturally. You know, we still do it because she was sort of very frail and very old. And then sort of little outbuildings, those outbuildings down at the bottom, they were big and very hard.
When I've been round, they've always been shut up.
But it's not only food and furniture restoring that attracts people here. Some have come to do machine embroidery. What are you doing, Doreen?
Well, I'm going to make a cushion, and this cushion is going to be on this, based on that design. So I'm painting in the background of these various intricate parts, and then the flowers I shall do applique using different techniques, and then because butterflies are the thing here we shall be having a butterfly on, and then I shall make it up into a complete cushion. So this is the inspiration that did it. Looking at this yesterday made me want to make a cushion cover with this sort of effect on it, and well, this is super. Yeah. First of all, I actually just did it, and we tried to transfer it across onto the material, but I'd done it too faint because I'd watered the paint down too much. So I'm doing it neat now, and in a few moments going over to iron it on, and hopefully we get a rather subdued sort of transfer across.
Anything that
now,
lifts it up, that was just
ironing.
handy, wasn't it? You know,
And then I'll take the masking
bit of felt,
tape off.
anything, a couple of bits of felt.
Oh, I'm ever so pleased. They really are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got some.
that's lovely. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
You've got an embroidery foot.
There.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I shall start and embroider around that.
Practice those squiggles. What we have.
It's very, very simple, and anyone can do it if they come to Grassington.
And at Grassington, work is a pleasure, as is relaxation. End Farm has its own fishing, right outside the back door. And also something for the more energetic. Perhaps you fancy a ride in a horse-drawn cart, going out to do a bit of painting. You don't have to go far to find a suitable subject for painting. It's right there in the garden, the house itself. Painting and drawing, as well as all the other courses here, have local people as tutors.
Now I have to complete the house front.
Yeah, the house front is there. You can put
So I can do about the same tone as the
yes,
house itself?
yes, or even slightly same tone, but more detail, just showing more of the stonework when you've done there, because that's nearer to you. And as a building comes nearer to you, and I find you see more of the detail, like you've done there, and you've got to leave the eye onto that to emphasise the texture.
Good.
So that's another one which is ideal to consider. And of course then you've your windows.
Yes, well I realise that I haven't planned, so...
How do you feel you're going to tackle the windows?
Well, I think I leave them more or less as they are, perhaps a little more shading.
Yes.
Perhaps fill in the window frame a little more.
Yes.
And perhaps that's it.
Well, there again, you've got to consider that even if it's in shadow, there'll be areas where it will be darker, areas where it'll be lighter. Probably if you look
Perhaps darker on the left.
yes, and probably on top of the windows, you'll probably notice that round about that area, it's very dark if you look at windows. As it comes down, the light catches it, and it's much lighter down that area. You get a dark shadow probably down that side a little bit, but not a dead straight one. Just soften it into the light part there, because the light's coming across and it's catching the windows.
That's the same also.
And the same with the other ones at the back too.
Put a twist in those two, that's right, and bring them down here, ready to meet these pairs to come back again.
Lace making looks complicated, but you soon
Left
learn.
hand. Both hands. Left hand. That's it. Bring another pair.
It's much easier than I ever thought. I would be very frightened of it, and there were so many bobbins I wouldn't know which one to do.
Right.
And more recently introduced, a course on jewellery making. Henry, can you tell me, are you an absolute beginner at this?
I've had about 3 months experience in my father's workshop. I've come here just to learn a bit more.
And how are you getting on?
This is Peter here, he's a very good teacher. I've showed me a lot. I've made one ring over here. Drawn the horse.
Okay, what about the house?
The house is very nice. People who run the Thompsons, the lovely dinners. Nice place to sleep. Good atmosphere around the beach. Bedrooms are good. The whole place is just brilliant.
You reckon it's worth it?
It's well worth the money, everything, and holiday as well.
What we're trying to do here, Henry, is where that thick part is just to get it pushed over the stone. You know where you left a little lip before? We want to get rid of that lip. I mean, you did right by pushing it over in the first place, as heavy as you did, because it was quite a thick piece of metal. But we don't want a lip on it, and as if you can just see, there's just a little bit of a lip, isn't there? So I want to get rid of that mainly with the setting tool before we emery it off. Okay? So it's just a matter of getting the tool in the right position, but you don't want to catch the edge of the stone, because if you do, with it being a CZ, it'll crack.
Julie, why have you come here?
Well, my husband's a jeweller. We've just started our own business just over a year ago, and he thought it would be convenient if I learned the art of simple jewellery repair, mending rings, making them larger and smaller, and mending neck chains. The jewellery trade is new to me, so really I'm an absolute beginner. And I've just come to see if I can learn a new art in about a week. Well, I'm here to work as I see it, and I'm having an awful hard job not to enjoy it too much. It's absolutely wonderful. I mean, Peter, who's instructing us, has got the patience of Job, which is just as well because he needs it. But the place is beautiful, the surroundings are wonderful. And it's a nice, comfortable, relaxed, family sort of atmosphere. Everybody just fits in so well.
No, not really, no.
In the evening, around the laden table, which was made by the proprietor himself, the talk could be of work or leisure. And quite often, the guests provide entertainment for the enjoyment of all. Bridge End Farm, Thresfield.